Yes, we're here again. Another awareness session with myself, Robert.
And Michael.
Yeah, so Robert's the acronym for me, or the word that they use for me is the voice, and then Michael is referred to as the educator. So Michael is going to be doing he's going to go through a topic. We're going to digest it. We're going to dissect it. We're going to try and shed some light on these concepts that are being thrown around, especially as regards to BORA DAO, BORA Finance, or BORA DAO. We're a startup in the cryptocurrency industry, or the blockchain technology industry. There is a lot of darkness, a lot of unknowns, a lot of concepts that are flying around, but many people aren't aware. But today, we just want to. We had a discussion in the last segment, but today we want to see how a DAO. First of all, we shall be able to explain what a DAO is, even in greater detail, and how a DAO, which is normally called a decentralized autonomous organization, can be a great opportunity for Africans. Because BORA Finance, or BORA DAO, is actually a startup in Uganda, which is in Africa. And we have a great opportunity as Africans to be able to be at the cutting edge of these new technologies as they're breaking. So we're going to go through a couple of the details as regards to why a DAO is a great opportunity for Africans. Africa really is still a virgin land that is there and has great opportunity for growth. There is a lot of growth potential, say, compared to the first world, as they like to refer to it. So we want to sort of introduce. Michael is going to be, going through an article, a number of notes. We're going to and I'm going to try to press him hard because he's the educator. I'm going to try to press him hard to sort of open up this subject in layman's language and make it so straightforward and so simple that an ordinary person, especially in Africa, because this is an awareness campaign where we're trying to create awareness as BORA DAO, as BORA Finance. We're trying to create awareness about the blockchain technology, that industry, about cryptocurrencies, about DAOs, which BORA, the company, is actually trying to build a DAO. We're also trying to open up about the future opportunities of the Web3 that is on the way. So, Michael, the introduction now falls to you. You can go ahead and sort of get into that piece.
Thank you.
As we
continue. Thank you, Robert. First, we want to understand what are DAOs. What is a decentralized autonomous organization? When I go through my research, we understand that DAOs are effective and safe way to work with like-minded folks around the globe, because DAOs it's like a community. It's not something that has a boss somewhere. It's a decentralized kind of organization. The community is at the globe. It's everywhere. You connect with different people across the globe. So maybe the layman language, I would say, maybe think of we may think of something like an internet native business that collectively owned and managed by its members. A business is managed by all the members, that nobody controls anyone or anything. So a DAO is like something like this, that it's open to the globe, to everybody is allowed to make decisions, everybody is allowed to propose, everybody is allowed to come up with if it's voting, or everybody is allowed to ensure everyone in the organization has a voice. It's not centralized. You get? So there is no CEO who can authorize spending based on their own whims or no chance of a dodgy CFO. CFO is Chief Financial Officer, manipulating the books or finances. Everything's out in the open, and the rules around spending are backed into the DAO via its code. The code meaning it's a code or that everybody can access. So basically that is a DAO. It's all internet based. It's a community that is built across the globe without any boss or anybody, but controlled by that. The community itself, it controls the whole concept around it. So the community is able to propose, is able to vote, is able to manage everything. Everybody has a voice. There is nobody, the way the word appears, the way it is, it's a decentralized, autonomous organization. Decentralized, not centralized. So no as we said, no CFO, no string attached. So everybody is allowed to air out their views collectively as a community. That's a DAO, basically. Maybe if you want to add something on that.
Well, I think that is very well explained. In a nutshell, it's indeed, it's almost like democratic system,
Yes.
if you want to put it in normal, understandable language. And in fact, you're correct when you say that there is no central command anywhere. It's pretty much open. Everyone has an equal say in the community. It's actually. Do you think then this is something that is advantageous for the African?
Yeah. Right now.
Because the subject, the reason I'm asking this is
Yes.
we want to sort of go into, yes, this is the technical meaning of what a DAO is, but the normal person here in Uganda will want to know, how is that beneficial to me?
Yes.
How is this useful for me, at least if not now, but for the future? Because people are looking for opportunities. And how is this DAO setup or system going to be the way forward for me? Why should I look in that direction? That's really what the normal Joe blogs would want to know here in Uganda and possibly even anywhere in Africa where they watch.
Yeah.
So
very simple. As we say, DAOs are decentralized. We don't have CFOs or CEOs or anything. And when it comes to Africa, on the political wing or side of voting and what, it would be an important concept introducing DAOs in elections or in voting, because you realize that there is nobody at a certain point, like though we have electoral commission or managers or something like that. This will be built, basically all the votings, everybody will be allowed to vote, and everybody is allowed to access what they have voted. They will be able to know who has voted and how many have voted, So there is no manipulation in the whole entire system because it is decentralized, where everybody can sit in his house or everybody can sit anywhere he is and be able to access the system and be able to know who and why or how they have voted into either governance or something like that. So for Africa, I see this as a great opportunity if introduced or if built for Africans, especially Uganda and other countries out there. As we say, DAOs equalize opportunities for talents to shine. You may
before you go into the other.
Yes, another.
I know you want to sort of tell us about all the benefits of DAOs, but maybe it's useful to digest one benefit at a time. So, for example, you've mentioned the potential application.
Yes.
In, say, elections.
Yes.
Or the electoral process, and how, because of the fact that the way what the DAO actually is, it's actually all the members of the DAO have an equal say.
Yes.
In the decision-making process. So they have access to the same information and they can equally vote towards that decisions
Exactly.
on the same footing, at the same level.
Exactly.
So you think that then in electoral process that's a potential usage of it.
Yes.
Okay, so then the other question will be then is it because the DAO is the benefit of a DAO to do with access to opportunities? I mean, is it like is it because it has lots of checks and balances? You know, like checks and balances on potential fraud or potential manipulation, as you said. Is a DAO? Is each member a check on another member? Is that the reason why it's useful?
Yes, because it is basically decentralized. There is no.
Which I understand.
Yes, there is nobody who. Yeah. There is nothing like a CEO, because if you have a CEO in an organization,
there's no central point.
There's no central point of somebody
from whom decisions or approvals are made.
Exactly. So everybody has a free access to information. Everybody has a voice to the information that he has read or he has seen. Basically, it is something that is accessible by everybody, and everybody has an input in any decision that is done in the DAO, other than being decentralized. And you find that when it's centralized, you find that the CEO or somebody out there who is a boss will be able to manage and will be able to decide on other people. But here, the whole community has a voice. The whole community can take decisions. The whole community has an opportunity to say whatever they can to make sure the system is built in the right way or the right direction.
But I'm seeing something based on the literature that they normally give us about what a DAO is, or if you want, a decentralized autonomous organization.
Yes.
In other words, an organization that is autonomous. What I'm finding is that, yes, they say it's an effective way to work, or an effective and safe way to work.
Yes.
But there is a caveat in there, there is a small print in there which is maybe key to maybe delving in deeper for more scrutiny. They say that in a DAO, it has to have like-minded folks around the globe, people who agree on this thing.
Yes.
So then, if a DAO is going to thrive, it has to have people with a similar vision. So that's the only way it can work. So how is that going to be useful with, say, competing views or competing visions in say, the electoral process example?
When they say like-minded, they mean the community that's going to be onto the DAO. The system is built, because DAOs are built via codes. They are built using codes. A DAO is built to either say yes or no. You have an opportunity to say yes or no. In an election, or in an election, we have somebody who says, I'm voting Robert and I'm voting Michael. So a DAO will accept, because it is your right to say you're voting me and somebody else is voting you. You get it? So the DAO will accept that. The only thing that the DAO does not allow is Michael or Robert, to cross out Robert.
Okay, so there's a safety feature in there.
Exactly.
Whereby once the DAO has been instituted, all the individuals, say for example the electoral process example, will agree that this is the way we're going to operate from this platform.
Exactly.
And then the one thing that can't happen, that is currently happening, what the DAO will solve is it will remove potential manipulation once someone has voted.
That is
the vote cannot be tampered with.
Exactly.
So that's a benefit for removing electoral fraud.
Yeah, because
so just give you another chance to finish it.
Yes.
I totally accept that. Yes, that's a benefit. So I want to just try to link this with what we're currently doing with BORA DAO.
Yes.
So BORA has a vision to fund future leaders.
Exactly.
And it wants to tap into cyberspace to draw those resources there. And of course, we're building a community. A DAO is essentially the community.
Exactly.
So for a person that's listening out there, a DAO is a community. It's a technical word for a community, but a community that is decentralized rather than centralized,
yes.
where there is a central command.
Exactly.
Whereas this is a good thing. So the community then we're building in BORA or as BORA is fundamental for the success of the whole concept that we're putting together.
Exactly.
Yeah. So my question then is, apart from you were going to say something earlier about the other benefits. I know we don't want to delve so much on the electoral benefits.
Yes.
But there is another benefit you wanted to touch on.
Yes.
Especially in regards to the opportunity for Africans. This is Afro-centered. How are Africans going to benefit more from these sort of organizations?
Yes. As you said, opportunities. DAOs, as we say, equalize opportunities for talent to shine. DAOs bring power in two hands of those who create value. Now, if you are an artist, you are a musician, you are maybe you have something that you've created across or in your community. It doesn't matter where you live or the language you speak. If you have something valuable to offer, you will likely find someone willing to pay you for it with the crypto token or other crypto assets like governance token. So you will find those people onto the community. You create something, put it onto DAO, identify a DAO, put it there, and then you find the community will be able to purchase that using the token. They will be able to purchase whatever you've created onto the community using the token that is on the DAO. So you don't need permission from anyone to join DAO. You get, just like the internet. DAO is like, actually it's the other way. I read somewhere where I say it's internet but on a blockchain. Previously we had internet, web, you know, Explorer, what, you know, you go to open emails and what and something like that. Here now we're having a different name called DAO, where everybody is allowed to go, put whatever they can put, because the community is already there, it's already built. They will be able to support you onto what you've created. So this means that anyone can join or leave the network at any time, because DAOs are permissionless. You get the point? So anybody can literally just raise their hand and complete tasks. No one is going to ask you for receipt or anything. That's a DAO, only DAO. I don't know that you've gotten my point.
Yeah, so let me give you some feedback on what I'm picking up.
Yes.
This is this sounds fantastic. I'm amazed by this benefit, because whereas right now there is a lot of people who are succeeding besides merit. So meritocracy. So someone may be very good, but they just don't have access to the opportunity to be noticed or to be seen. So I'm seeing as Africans right now, there is so much talent in this African continent.
Exactly.
Especially here in Uganda where we are.
Exactly.
Students are coming out, they have many great ideas, but they don't have a platform on which to be given a chance. So I can see this being very useful for Africans in this regard.
Fantastic.
And I'm also seeing this as being something that, as you say, very similar to the internet. No one asks you for permission or a CV to join these social media, say, sites. Likewise, you can join these DAO communities anyhow.
Yes.
And the minute you're on there, you now have a platform and a potential community that you can pitch to any kind of value that you may have. You make a value proposition to them.
Yes.
And I'm seeing that this is definitely a great opportunity for Africans.
Yes.
And so if anyone wonders what's the point of a DAO here in Africa, in Uganda, for example, here in Uganda,
yes,
I can now see clearly how they can benefit.
Yep.
Very clearly I can see that all the value, all the ideas, you just have to join a community,
Yes.
propose to the community or the DAO, and then those members, you don't depend on the central command to get opportunity.
No.
You can win by the vote, because you can have people vote, because you have all this community and all these members having a voting right on the basis of a token, as you say.
Yes.
So really, joining a DAO is the key.
Yes.
It's an opportunity. It's exposure to platforms that I can see.
Exactly.
And so so this thing has a potential to remove discrimination.
Yes.
Based on background, based on appearance. So no one has to see or geographical location.
Yeah.
This is incredible advantage for Africans.
The next point is interesting. The next point is interesting. How DAOs can help you work on your project, or build and work on your projects. Now, why we're saying this great opportunity for Africa is because in Africa we have so much potential. Now, you join the DAO, since it's a community, it's an environment where people can come together to build something they care about. Now, in Africa, we have so many sectors. You find I'm in cattle keeping. I don't have knowledge, or farming. I may not have enough knowledge, but I want to start farming, or I have some small farm, and something is not going right. So when I join the community, the DAO organization or DAO community, there are people across the entire globe who have knowledge about farming. They will give me free information, or I will get information onto the DAO, how to manage my farm. If I don't know if I want to learn about maybe being managing my cows, or managing or somebody is sick at home, or something's not right at home, at my place, I'll be able to join DAO and get information, because it's a platform where so many people, it's a community where so many people are willing to give information to you free of charge. The possible thing is you to plug into yourself, to get yourself onto the DAO, onto the community, and then you'll be able to find information from people across the globe. So it's an interesting thing.
So this is very interesting. So in the context of the topic today, which is how this is an opportunity for Africans, how DAOs, or decentralized autonomous organizations, or communities,
yes,
that are being built in this regard are useful, is the benefit. One of the benefits that you're highlighting, as I'm understanding you, is the potential to share experiences.
Yes.
These people are coming on there. You have access to also a rich fountain of knowledge from different experiences. So you may have, as you said, a question about farming. Maybe you want to go in an area. Someone will be on the community that's already well versed or very experienced in that area. Exactly. And so there is a benefit of cutting down on time, helping you to skill up better because of this shared. So there's also potential for mentorships on there.
Yes, yes.
So this is a fantastic thing. So these communities are really incredible. I mean, I'm just looking at it thinking, so if you have a specific project then, as you said, and you're working on a project, and maybe there is a teething problem somewhere, there is something that you need to accomplish, and you don't maybe have this person, or you don't have this expertise, you can easily put this proposal onto the DAO, and this can be potential to, in fact, it's maybe if I brought it in the context of what we're trying to do in BORA DAO.
Yes, yes.
So say we're trying to fund future leaders, as we've said.
Yes.
So a young, especially in the student community. So a young student comes up with a brilliant idea, a thesis or a dissertation, a project they're putting together.
Yes.
So they may have areas where there may be gaps. So if they pitch their idea onto the community, so this increases their opportunity to be able to perform better because they have access to this community.
Yes.
And they have access to all this expertise in this DAO. So I see this is a great opportunity. I don't know if you want to sort of add on to that.
Yeah, it's great. It's something that is going to help most of, especially in Africa. I will insist on Africa because Africa we have a young generation that is the biggest number is not employed. So here, many of them are going to access information that will help them, skill them. It will help them skill because they will be able to find people who are going to help them build their skills and go out there and earn a living or build their communities or help them their communities grow. So for me, this is a very important concept, or this is a very important concept that was built onto the blockchain that we as Africans are going to embrace without doubt. So I think I don't know that you want me to give you more about, to tell you more about how you'll be able to participate in different DAOs, especially now. Somebody might ask, you said it's open. Maybe if universities, maybe information on learning is open to everyone. So when universities collapse, no, it's not like that. It's not something that is you just come in and then overnight and be able to access. You'll have to earn it. The same applies here, but instead of studying for years, you get it. You can enter an awesome community of like-minded people who are all trying to help each other. It's not something that you're going to take, like, if there are four, you're supposed to do a course for 4 years. You have to maybe take maybe one year or 2 years, other than 4 years. So it's somebody may think that maybe when I join a DAO community for education or something like that, I will just have to maybe for 1 or 2 weeks I'm done with my course or something. No, it's not like that. It reduces on the time frame that you would take. Because why? Because you have a number of people who are guiding you, who are helping you with information that might be your lecturers, or maybe they have already gotten experience from what you're studying. They've already worked out there with vast experience, and they are guiding you on to how you can finish your course very fast. So it will take a limited time other than taking 4 years of your course. So it may take like 1 year or 2 years. So it's something that you will earn it, but you will find it very interesting for you too when you're studying. So somebody might ask that one. So it's a wide thing. It's a very beautiful thing. Yes.
So the DAOs in terms of us, BORA, is going to be useful for saving students from experimentation, trial and error, which many times is very costly. You can't afford to make so many mistakes because it's not cheap, and it's time wasting as well. So having access to people of all sorts of skills in the community that you do join, for a student at least, for what we're doing as BORA, is going to be a definite advantage once we are up and running properly. So then the other thing that I would like to say is, how can, say, charitable organizations benefit, like charities, or what we call over here NGOs, or non-governmental organizations, because they have a lot of what they do. There is a way is there a potential to do charitable projects using the DAO system or community system? Because I can see an advantage there, whereby individuals, charities or NGOs have things that they do to try to impact society. And when they do these things, they sometimes have to outsource experts in different areas. Say, for example, they want to do an eye clinic. So they have to bring in an optician to come in and maybe help people in that community check eyes and things, or someone with an expert in, say, infrastructure or an engineer. So DAOs are potentially useful in charitable work, I suspect.
Yeah, they are. The word speaks by itself. Because you're researching, because one thing I know with the NGOs, they are into projects. They are building projects all the time. So they now have an open environment or community where they can access a lot of information for them to carry out their organization or their research. Because one thing I know is they are basically building building on a research that they've carried out in the community about certain disease, how they can heal, how they can cure, or how they can find a vaccine, or how they can find medicine for certain disease or outbreak. All that they will be able to access it onto the DAO. How? Because they have an environment that is present out there with people with vast experience, people who have worked maybe within the community, people who have, the doctors themselves who have already who have worked into the pharmacies and have vast experience on disease healing and vaccine manufacturing and stuff like that. So they will find a lot of information onto the DAO, because there is no limitation onto the DAO when one is looking for information. Basically, it is something that is open, and organizations, NGOs, they will benefit a lot onto that.
So really, what you're saying is that DAOs are revolutionary.
Yes.
They are going to revolutionize how people are operating, or how business is even done, because the future of business looks like it's going to be community driven.
Yes.
Where it's going to be decentralized. Whereas right now, as you said, the setup is autonomous. You have a CEO, a CFO, there's an organogram, an organizational structure, and things are working that way.
Yes.
Now, people are going to be doing things, and they're going to do things that they believe in, and they're going to grow and push those things to the place where they are. So right now, one man can make a decision, and he will overrule the majority, because he wants to go in this direction and the majority want to go, but because he has the say, he can divert all. So even it's all about allocation of resources, I can see. So the resources, so one man makes a decision, he diverts all the resources in one direction, and the majority don't necessarily believe the vision, but they go with it because they don't have the power. So this is an empowering thing I can see, because you have a majority voting and they all move in an agreed position, and there is real impact. Yeah, I see what you mean. So these DAOs then are really going to be very revolutionary. I'm really impressed by that benefit. And there's a way these things are really going to help in allocation of resources, and even decision making. Okay.
Because it is open.
Yes, it's open.
It's an open.
But is there not potentially a problem with decision making, whereby if you have too many, using the analogy, too many cooks spoil the broth, too many decision makers? But because anyway it's a voting system, maybe that cancels out that question. I just had a thought as we were having this chat. So okay. So is there any other potential things that, or opportunities that can arise from DAOs that Africans should be aware of, especially in Uganda? Because this is an awareness. We're trying to shed more light on how DAOs work and how we can best benefit from them. So
another one that I wanted to hint on is basically, as Africa, we have many, as I said, we have many youths who have gone to school, and most of them don't have jobs, don't have what to do. Apart from getting skills and getting ideas from the community which is there, I believe these young men and women who are on the DAO, in the community, they will be able to share the experience, or share their ideas, or share their skills that they've gained from school to the community, and be able to, the community which is already experienced with a lot of there are professionals there. So I believe they will be able to link them up or guide them on either to have their own startup, to be able how they can have their own startup, or somebody can be able to start his own company or something like that, to sustain himself as a person for a living, other than going to school and then at the end of the day you just keep your documents at home or without doing anything. Because most youth in Africa have lost hope because they lack mentors. So here on this community of DAO, they'll be able to find those experienced, those professionals, those people who are willing to help them to grow, to skill them and be able to sustain themselves in life. So that is one advantage I see that the DAOs can bring to Africa.
Yeah, so there is a lot of shared expertise,
Exactly.
mentorship,
Exactly.
Opportunities to or make your propose your value to a community that is willing, that is has goodwill. The one thing that I'm thinking about is how these DAOs can then be connected and linked. How these DAOs can be linked and connected to the actual activity of it. Because I'm thinking about the things like governance tokens.
Yes.
So tokens, the tokenization of this whole. So now we've gone through the theoretical stuff.
Yes.
But there is a way this thing works in this, because it's an alien thing, in this blockchain technology, stroke Web3, which is coming up, and stroke cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
There is a way this thing works. Obviously, there is a way people vote. They vote in the community using tokens on a platform, I suspect, yeah. And there is a way this thing works, and so how there is a way this thing works using tokens, or I don't know if you guys the technical guys call them NFTs or something.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, non-fungible tokens. So I'm just saying, maybe just shed a little light on how this thing works, so that in the simplest way, without complicating it, because most people will hear all these ideas and they will hear all the benefits, but they will think that you just simply submit a normal proposal as you normally do elsewhere. And then they'll be surprised when they're being asked to be, number one, part of a community, number two, you must have a token, and all the rest of it. So, or even if you want to be a part of a community to make decisions, how that works.
Basically,
simply as
DAOs are built onto the blockchain.
Yes.
Blockchain is a new industry, new technology. For one to access or be part of DAO or be part of this community, has to have knowledge of blockchain or cryptocurrency. One, you must have somebody, or you must have people around you who understand what this blockchain industry is all about, because it all works like the internet. But the new concept, this is a new concept of the new industry that is being built. So there is no way you'll be part of a DAO or a decentralized automation organization when you don't understand that, when you're not onto the blockchain. When you're not onto the blockchain industry. That's what we call Web3. We started with you know how internet was invented in or came up in 1990s, early 1990s, or even earlier than that, because some of us got to know it late 90s or 2000s. So we've been building onto that. Now we are going onto Web3, or even up now we will see another web coming.
So just maybe to pause this slightly.
Yes.
Remember, we're trying to make an ordinary African understand, to drag them slowly into the light. So things like Web3 are alien to most people.
Yes.
Even me, some time back, I was unaware of these things. Yes. So there's versions of the internet, of the web, of the World Wide Web. There is, and the phrases they normally is Web 1.0.
Yes.
Then Web 2.0, then Web 3.0. These things you can Google now and find out.
Yes.
Yeah, but many people are unaware that there's versions of the internet. Yeah. So having said that, so we understand this version of the internet. We also understand that there is a new technology that's being built. Yes. Called the blockchain technology, and this is where everything is happening. This is where DAOs are being built.
Yes.
So DAOs are being built on using the technology as because this is how the technology is being utilized. DAOs being one application,
Yes.
and so on and so forth. So I stopped you there, but I just thought
No,
it was very important. It's very important as in awareness that these individuals that are listening in, our brothers, are able to get the point.
Yes.
I don't know whether we should end at that point.
Yes.
Or is there any other remarks you want to make? Because I think we've given away more than enough to digest in this segment. What do you think? Is there anything you want to add?
I believe it's a very beautiful concept, and I know it will help us, especially us in Africa, and we'll be able to benefit a lot out of DAOs in our governance, in our schools, in our communities, everywhere. So I believe DAOs are very important to us, and we'll just continue doing our work of awareness, giving more information about how people can benefit and which token or which blockchain most people can be part of to be able to access the DAOs that will help them in their communities. So one thing maybe I would request is those who are watching us, please subscribe. There's a link down there. Please subscribe. And also like us so that we can continue giving you more awareness or updates on what is happening in BORA as a community, and BORA DAO as a community. Thank you so much, and maybe my brother, you.
Yeah. My takeaway with what we've had a discussion on this time around is that yes, this thing DAO may sound complicated and difficult to start with. Or even to understand, it's going to be quite tricky. However, we believe that this is the future of decentralized governance.
Yes.
Yeah. And the best way to be a part of the future is to start by participating, by joining a DAO or a community. And then if you join any kind of DAO community or DAO economy, as you say, you encourage people to go and join our Telegram community, and obviously join our Twitter, and also even read up a bit more.
Yes.
Then there you will learn how these things work.
Yes.
And of course, you don't have to be some expert going to Harvard or Makerere University to study about these sort of things.
Yes.
You just have to join the community, and there's people in there who will know what's going on, and they will always be able to answer. The community leaders or the community managers will be able to answer various questions that you may not be aware, things that you may not be aware of.
Yes.
So I say that some of the key things that I'm seeing about DAOs is that people who have a like mind,
yes,
and or people who have if you want, they want to help and support each other on projects.
Exactly.
Then they're trying to remove a shortage of opportunities by creating this community. Okay. They also want to be innovative.
Yes.
So the proposals that are made to the DAOs are innovative value propositions.
Yes.
And so all this here is all part of being of a like mind, people of like mind who believe that you may have something to say and will want to give you a chance.
Yes.
So here I think Africans will benefit greatly. Those who have been, if you want, banking the unbanked, unsupported, marginalized,
yes,
they have great opportunity now for joining these communities, especially because the internet is open to all. That this is probably going to be the future of the way things work.
yes.
I thank you so much for this fantastic insight.
Yes.
Allow me to end the discussion here at this point. So we shall continue again. We shall go further into these discussions. We touched on blockchain, but I feel that maybe we could delve deeper into that one. But thank you so much, Michael, the educator.
Thank you.
And my name is Robert, the voice of the BORA DAO. You can go check us out on the website, which is boradao.io, borafinance.io. And we have a Telegram as well, as Mike was mentioned. Yes. Telegram is the BORA DAO community. DAO being DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Feel free to also check out our YouTube channel, which is the BORA DAO, and we shall continue to put stuff on there and post it whatever we have a discussion about, so you know how we're getting on, how we're doing things. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Bye.